It's late, it's live, it's Leeds, it's the living legend. Here's Whaley!
Just a minute, now, I'm going to go back out and do it again, and this time, a lot of excitement, all right? A lot of excitement. Ready? I'll go, cue again. Here we go, hang on.
It's late, it's live, it's Leeds, it's still the living legend, it's still Whaley.
Good evening. Enough. All right, shut up. Excuse me. Now, tonight, Henry, sit back over there. Tonight we're talking about Clause 25, first of all, with Peter Tatchell. If you have any views on that, you might like to give us a ring. The number coming up on your screen any moment now. Yes, there it is. And before that, we're going to be, or after that, we're going to be talking about the honours system. Some of our friends here have got OBEs, MBEs. We have a couple of lords and a few ladies. And if there's a sort of award you think perhaps I should have or one that you should have, ring us and let us know. I think that's all there is to it, really. You can see some of these people here wearing their awards. And we'd like to, well, you can't at the moment, but you will be able to a little later on. And we'd like to know what you think of the award system. So get up, phone us. At the moment, it wasn't that funny. I'm trying my hardest to, you know. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy, for goodness sake. But we thought we'd start with a little music, as usual, and our friends, the River City people, who are over here just waiting to perform for you a song called When I Was Young.
See you later, thank you.
Well, I don't know about you, but I thought Siobhan looked... you're a little late there. I'm supposed to have a floor manager comes and waves me in, you know, coming from over there. Siobhan looked very nice. She got that dress specially to match the drum kit, and it worked quite well. I'm losing my voice for some reason. Peter, welcome to the programme. Peter Tatchell, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, we've got our outrage badge on, Peter. Mm-hmm. Clause 25 of the Criminal Justice Bill was given its second reading Tuesday.
That's right.
Wasn't it? What happened?
Well, it was just a general debate in the House of Lords. The main amendments and discussion will take place in about 2 weeks' time.
Will it get thrown out, as a lot of people are hoping, or do you think it will actually go through after all this?
Well, the government's made some concessions, but they're still sticking to what we think is a pretty discriminatory interpretation. And basically, even despite the government's amendments, nearly every form of consenting homosexual behaviour is still listed as a serious sex crime on a par with the sexual abuse of children. And we think that's monstrous, so there's no other democracy anywhere in the world that does that. Mm.
Even for two people in their own home, they could, if this bill goes through, they could actually face criminal charges.
Well, it's all kinds of qualifications. I mean, it's things like, yes, if either of the parties or one of the parties is aged between 16 and 21, if more than two people are present in the house.
Let's just clear that up. I mean, they could be over 21, presumably. Mm-hmm. So if three gay people were in the same house, two of them were having sex, one wasn't, they would all be liable to find themselves in court?
Under the privacy rules, which are very, very much stricter for gay people than they are for heterosexuals. Don't
the government and the rule makers in this country have anything better to do? I mean, is there nothing to do?
I mean, it is pretty extraordinary because no other country in Europe, anywhere in Europe does this. I mean, if you can imagine, if you live in a shared house and you've got your boyfriend over, you have sex in the spare bedroom, your flatmate's watching television or doing the washing up, and the police burst in, you could all be arrested because there's more than two people present in the house.
I mean, they're not honestly going to waste time, surely, doing... I mean, there's enough problems with the...
It happens pretty rarely, but it has happened. I mean, a few years ago, there was a gay birthday party in West London, and the police raided the place and arrested all 37 guests on the grounds that two people were having sex in an upstairs bedroom.
So they're going to debate this bill as normal, and presumably, if it does go through, then do you think it will be put into operation? I mean, will the police actually want to go and stop people doing this? I don't think they've got the time.
Well, they seem to be making quite a lot of time. I mean, the numbers of people being convicted for these kind of offences is rising and has been rising for the last few years. And it seems the police have a rather obsessive attitude about what gay men do when, you know, we've got serious crimes like, you know, rapes and murders and muggings and burglaries and so on.
But a lot of people, you see, Peter, a lot of people think that a homosexual is going to go out and rape a little boy, or that they're continually into sort of really nasty beatings and rapes and...
Well, you see, the offences that are covered are things like, for example, if, say, I'm in the local shopping centre and I'm doing my shopping and I'm waiting there in the queue with my bag of groceries, and I see someone in front of me and we get talking and we like each other and we chat each other up and we exchange names and phone numbers, that's going to be a serious sex crime. And we could get 2 years in prison under this absurd law.
Oh, this is stupid.
Well, it's stupid. Yet the government of this country is doing it.
I can't actually believe it'll go ahead. I mean, there was thousands of people, about 7,000 people marched in London a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? Didn't really get very much coverage in the media because, of course, there was a war on at the time. Are you planning another march or not?
There's another big march in Manchester on April the 13th, which we hope we're going to have many, many thousands of people, because it's true, the government has made some amendments. For example, they deleted 3 offences. Sex between crews of merchant ships, living on the earnings of a male prostitute, and procuring of homosexual acts under a law which is virtually never used. Now, but all the other offences are still in there.
Do you think that with Ian McKellen becoming a Sir Ian of the theatre, things will be easier? Perhaps it's going to become a little less anarchic to say that you're gay, or to come out and say that you're gay?
Well, certainly, I'm sure he will continue to use his influence to try and pressure the government to see sense and to make Britain's laws less discriminatory. But, you know, he is just one person. You
were upset, weren't you, that he actually accepted his knighthood?
Well, I wasn't. I mean, he is a very great and distinguished actor. He's done an enormous amount for lesbian and gay rights, and he has personally raised over £500,000 for London Lighthouse, the AIDS Centre in West London. So he deserves recognition.
Were you surprised that a man who was so openly homosexual actually was awarded a knighthood?
Well, to some extent it was breaking new ground, but on the other hand, I mean, I think that the government is probably, can now turn around and say, well, we're not really anti-gay because, look, we've given this man a knighthood. But the thing is, they didn't give him the knighthood for his work for lesbian and gay rights or for AIDS. They gave it strictly in the definition of the award for his acting contributions. OK, do you think somebody should get an award for their work for gay rights? Well, I mean, it's interesting. Anthony Gray, who was the Secretary of the Homosexual Law Reform Society during the 1960s and did a major work with people like Tony Dyson and Alan Horsfall in getting the partial decriminalisation of 1967 through, they never got any kind of award or public recognition at all. Yet, obviously, their work through that legislation has removed some of the worst aspects of blackmail and persecution.
We're going to talk more later about the award system, but I thought to find out what it's all about and what sort of people get awards, I should pop along to the only place to be, Buck House.
Whaley goes to town.
Well, looks like Her Royal Majesty's in, the flag is flying, and today's the day when those lucky people get their OBEs, their CBEs, their knighthoods, their orders of this and orders of that. We're going to find out what it's like. And because I'm one of the few people who can get a pass to get in here, well, Fellini can't direct today. I am in total charge. Just one moment. Lend me your hand. Let's hold on to that. Because when you're doing this sort of thing, you must make sure you're dressed properly, because you never know who you're going to meet in there. It could be the start of big things for Whaley. Come on. We can't sort of wander at will up here talking to people, can we? Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, can we? Not too far, obviously. Okay. You prefer us to stay?
I want you to stay there. I don't want any moving of television cameras.
Well, we just got to stay here, have we?
We're going to stay in this area.
Yeah, I see.
This is something beyond even realm. When we went through the gates, it was... I just can't tell you how we felt.
Was the royal personage herself there?
Oh, she's marvelous.
Yeah.
Marvelous. She spoke to each and every person as if she knew them.
One's anxious not to make a fool of oneself, like tripping up or forgetting to give the little bow and do the backward walk, all that is...
Hang on, I didn't know you had to do all that.
Oh, yes, you have to do all that.
Golly, really?
You have a little coaching session beforehand with one of the officials who tells you exactly what to do and then says when it's all over, but don't worry, all you've got to do is do what the chap in front does.
What are you doing?
He's just been knighted.
Has he?
Yes.
Has he been knighted?
Yes, would you like to meet him?
I would, yes. Can I meet him?
Yes.
You're on my programme now.
Which programme
Secretly
is
filming.
this?
Well, my programme that goes out late at night that you probably wouldn't like to be on.
Oh, well, I perhaps won't bring him over.
No, I mean, he'll be quite safe here.
I'd better go and have my photograph taken.
Well, you can in a moment.
I'm in not the starring role today.
What was it like in there?
Very impressive.
Was it? Was he quite quiet when he went to get the award?
Yes, he was, like everyone else.
Just remind me what he does.
He's the editor of the Daily Express.
Of course, of course. What's happening now then? Where can I get an interview with Barbara Cartland, or is that's going to be difficult, is it?
Well, if you had arrived on time, then you would have.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there was a bomb in London yesterday, Dickie, and it sort of stuffed the travelling.
Well,
unfortunately.
you'll see that, a couple hundred people managed to get here.
Yeah, but I had to come from the north of Scotland. You know, we can't all live in London. Thank goodness, I say. How are you? I'm all right. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jimmy.
Listen, you're the only man I've seen around here with a hat on the way it ought to be worn.
Right, man. Just take note.
Very, very nice.
The cold tilt.
What did you?
Where's yours, Jim?
I haven't got. Don't start picking on me. Everybody's picking on me today. What did you get?
I got you know.
Come on, show us.
DCM.
DCM.
Yeah. Don't come Mondays.
James, you're vox popping like crazy.
I know.
You're exhausted. You're in the living.
I have got to get it all in before I'm thrown out.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Now, we were down good and early this morning.
Yeah.
Got a seat in the front row. And we thought we were going to get a wee cup of tea, a bit of a brew up, but it didn't happen,
Is it your award?
It is.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
What did you get it for?
For our services to the courts in Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm. And what was it like being in there?
Quite an experience.
Yeah?
A once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I'm not allowed to say, and I'm not allowed to say things, the usual thing. They always try to make me abroad, and it's always very difficult, you know, because they want to know what the Queen did them off, you know, that sort of thing, that sort of thing which you can't say. You understand?
There's definitely a smell of curry here. I don't know whether you can... Well, no, you obviously you can't smell it, but there's definitely a smell of curry. Definitely. If you remember Maris Goring from The Expert and various other television programmes, names of which have all escaped me at this moment. And here he is, on a day of great pride, I'm sure, for him, as we stand here outside this amazing palace, this beautiful edifice. That's exciting. So I was doing this off camera. As the sun throws majestic shadows across this beautiful facade, and a gentleman who has spent his years entertaining. You would never be one of those people tempted to return their award for any reason, like John Lennon did those years ago?
Oh, God, no. No. And why on earth should we? Beautiful thing like this, I'll hang on to it.
You don't know, this isn't the queue for lunch, is it? It's not the queue for lunch, is it?
No.
It's not the lunch queue?
No, it's not.
Ah, sorry. Because I could smell curry. I don't know whether you could smell it. Can you smell curry?
Not really.
I could smell curry. Can you smell curry, Dickie?
Gentlemen, I think that is it.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. I mean, I was almost frog-marched out of there. And there was a terrific smell of curry, let me tell you that. Now, to the phone calls, and on the line is John Walker. Hello, John.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, John. Now, John, a couple of years ago, 86, you had a book published called The British Honours System, or The Queen Has Been Pleased, all about the British Honours System.
That's right,
Is that right? What do you feel about the honours system?
Well, the system itself sets out to reflect society in all aspects.
Yeah.
So if you're an ordinary working class person at the bottom of the rung, you have virtually no chance of getting an honour. If you get anything, it's the very lowest of all honours, where you don't even get a trip to Buckingham Palace.
What's the lowest of all honours? Tell me.
Something called the British Empire Medal.
I'm just going to have to move my stuff out of the way. We had a little whistle here. Go on, the British Empire Medal.
You don't get a trip to Buckingham Palace. You get given it by the local Lord Lieutenant of the county or some visiting
What sort of
minister.
people get those?
Cleaners, firemen, nurses, who go out of their way.
Oh, well, you couldn't expect those sort of people to go to Buckingham Palace. I mean, for goodness sake, come on, John.
But these are people who, when they go out of their way, when they're fishing people out of death and disaster, going way beyond anything that could be regarded as a reasonable thing to do for 150 quid a week, they get the lowest possible honour going.
Now, you reckon that rich businessmen actually can buy their honours. Was that something, I believe that was something Lloyd George started, didn't he?
Lloyd George did extremely well out of it. It's estimated he made 10 million quid out of it.
Had his head screwed on the right way, didn't he? Yes.
And in 1924, legislation was introduced to try and stop the practice, but today, or over the last decade or so, there's an interesting correlation. The more money you give to the Tory party, the better the chances are that your company or someone surrounding you...
But the Labour, listen,
the
Labour Party, John, give out awards as well. It's not just the Tories,
No, that's quite true. The Labour Party give out awards all over the place. By and large, the people that fund the Labour Party are trade unions. The people who get those kind of awards may well be general secretaries from trade unions.
Okay, so you don't want to see the awards done away with. You want to see the way people are actually singled out to receive one changed.
I'm not sure the honours system should be used as a means of oiling the finances of political parties.
Okay, John, fine. Thank you very much indeed. Let's talk to Rory from London. Hello, Rory.
Hello, James.
Yes, Rory, I'm well. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. To the point.
Just to say, I agree wholeheartedly with the last caller. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a big farce, isn't it? The whole MBEs and OBEs, isn't it?
Now, listen, Rory, what I don't want tonight, and Peter, remember this, of course, Peter Tatchell's still with me here, I don't want to scupper the chances of suddenly becoming Lord Whale. I think it has a nice... You can all shut up.
I think you should be Lord Whale,
I do
James.
too. In fact, I always thought Barbara Cartland was a dame. I didn't realise she just got it. I thought she always was one. So maybe, from now on, what do you think? Sir Peter and Lord Whale here?
Yeah?
You don't think that's sort of demeaning to the honours system, do you?
Well, I think certainly you should be Lord Whale.
Thank you, Rory. Don't carry on. That's lovely. If you're wondering why Little Willie is here, stay tuned. It will be self-evident a little later on, plus why we have copies of the movie, Little Willie. Nick in North Wales. Hello, Nick.
Yeah, good morning, James.
Yes, Nick. Hi.
What it is, my grandfather was killed in 1943.
Yes, Nick. Oh, that's tragic. Tragic.
Merchant seaman.
You've got over it now, Nick.
Oh, obviously.
Good,
I've never ever met him. The thing is, I can't understand. He never got a medal, and all these big knobs that make a Pilser run the country, he'll end up with one.
Well, I can't answer that. Perhaps we'll find somebody who can answer it a little later on. Thank you, Nick. That's a sad note to end this first part on, but we will be back in a couple of ticks. I can do it as well. Hi, welcome back. Nice to have you with us. Here we are, late and live in Leeds tonight across the entire country. And with me are two people who have been there to the palace, received their royal thingies in person. Liz Hobbs, Dickie Bird. Now, Liz is an MB. You're both MBEs.
Yes, we are. That's right.
Now, did you both bring them to show me?
I did.
You did?
Because I promised you I would.
Uh-huh.
And there's lots of people that haven't seen them, so I thought it
so
might be nice
yes,
if they could
very
see
nice
them.
indeed. Now, Liz, you got yours for water skiing and for breaking your neck.
Well, it was for services to water skiing.
Services to water skiing.
Well, it was for winning the World Championships, and then I went and retained the World Championships, and then I broke my neck and went back and was on the road to winning the Europeans again and was awarded the MBE.
And did you give up after that?
After I'd returned the Europeans.
Yes,
I got back the Europeans, yes I did.
How is the neck now, by the way?
It's fine.
It is
thank
okay.
you.
That's good.
Cracks
nice.
just like yours.
Mine, you've heard that, have you?
Lord Whale.
Yeah, Lord Whale. Do you think that suits me?
Yeah, it's not
yes,
bad, actually.
it's not bad, is it?
I have to say that guy that phoned up was an absolute Dylan, I'm sorry.
Which one?
He hadn't got a clue what he was talking about.
Who are you talking about now?
The callers that you just took before the break.
Oh, the one who's written the book?
Doesn't know about the system at all, because there are...
Please, explain it to me, I can sit back.
There are firemen, there are coalmen, there are different people.
Cleaners?
Guess who was a coalman? Yes, that actually go to Buckingham Palace and receive awards.
Great. Well, probably coalmen who go to Buckingham Palace to deliver coal as well, I would have thought.
Well, if I could just butt in here.
Please, Dickie, I thought you would.
My father was a coal miner. He worked in the bowels of the earth from being 13 years of age to 65.
Bowels is not a nice word.
That's right, but that's down in the coal mine. And I went to the mines when I was a boy, when I left school, and I've worked my way up right through. I mean, cricket's been my life. I've given my life to the game, and I was awarded the MVP.
Now, listen, it says here, it says that the award, your words, the award means more to me than my life?
Correct.
Explain that to me.
My MBE means more to me than my life, James. I'm so proud of it. It's a tremendous honour. And to go to Buckingham Palace it is a wonderful occasion. Anyone what gets on, it's a wonderful occasion. And it's a day you remember for the rest of your life. And I cried, and I'm not afraid to...
Don't do it now, please, because it's, you know...
I cried when I got my MBE.
Yeah.
I have to say, I actually shed a tear when I got the letter through, because you actually are notified in advance that you're getting an award. You get a letter that says, from Downing Street, the Prime Minister has it in mind to recommend you to Her Majesty the Queen.
Why do you think, first of all, Liz, why do you think you were chosen rather than somebody else who was a water skier, who had won championships and things? Why was it you?
In my sport at the time, there was nobody who had achieved or done what I'd done in my sport. And I didn't ever think I'd get an MBE, to be honest, James, because I'd won the World Championships, and many world champions actually get awarded their MBE after they've won one world title. Well, I'd already broken the world speed record, I'd won the World Championships, I'd defended it successfully, and I hadn't got one.
Now, some people who perhaps not as charitable as I am, of course, as a nice person, said, well, your father's a bit of a friend of the Queen anyway, and that might have... Do you think that tipped the... or not?
My father has nothing to do with it, because...
He wouldn't have said, look, Liz is all right, she's pretty hot on the skis. Slip her an MBE.
I don't think so. Probably
no?
my father would have got it then. But what happens in the MBE system in sport is that your governing body has to recommend you to the Prime Minister. And if you're... I mean, I was a little bit of a rebel in my sport, and I was the one who stood up for myself.
I know.
And probably that's why I didn't get it after the first world title, because I used to stand up and say, listen, the skiers aren't getting a good deal here. But if it's not recommended by the British Water Ski Federation, you don't get it. Whether my father's a friend of the Queen's or not makes no difference.
So rebels can get awards, you think?
Absolutely. I was a little rebel.
Well, there we are. Dickie, you aren't a rebel.
No, I've always been an establishment man.
Yes.
I've always stood by the establishment. I always will. My father always said to me, stand by the people who employ you and they will stand by you. And I've always done that. And I think my award is probably...
OK, well, we're going to come back and find out more about you being an establishment man, but I'm told in my... Yes, I've got a couple of things coming here. One is that your mic is Dickie. And we're going to have... we're going to have to fix it. We'll have a fiddle with it. We'll watch David Lee Roth, never ever been seen before on television. He's not here, unfortunately, but he's on video. Sensible Shoes. Little things, or not, as the case may be. Your MBE may well be taken back, Liz, at this rate.
He's a bad influence. He said he was a man of the establishment.
Yes, I thought you were a man of the establishment.
I am too, yes. Wicked Willy race.
Please, now, we're talking of the honours system here. I'm sorry about this, Peter. I'm sorry I have these two very... Dickie, of course, for people who may not have cricket fans in the audience, of course, is the foremost cricket umpire in the world. In the world, I think. Dickie is the man Dickie who stands by the stumps, and he does a lot of this, don't you? I wanted to know whether you actually rehearse this. You sort of walk around the stumps and you do a kind of...
Actually, I'm very highly strung, and I have these mannerisms. I don't realise I'm doing them. So watch how I might, you might get one at the side of the chin. I don't realise I'm doing them, seriously, and I think it helps me to unleash in test matches all the pressure and tensions. And,
well, you see, looking at it, I mean, I'm uninitiated. I would never have realised there was a lot of pressure and tension in a match of cricket.
Yes, I'm afraid there is, sir.
You know. An umpire. Got to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of pressure.
Anyway, back to what there's nothing to do with what we were talking about.
No.
But never mind. Peter, if you were offered an award for your work for the gay community, would you accept it? Would you go and accept it?
I think it's very easy for someone who hasn't got one to sort of say what they do. I think obviously it is complex. Personally, I think the whole system is pretty elitist and rotten, as other people have said. I mean, basically, the people who get awards, with some exceptions, are
Don't be nice just because they're sitting next to you. I mean,
the
go
people
for
who get them are people from the establishment or who suck up to the establishment.
Yeah.
And
well, Dickie admitted sucking up to the establishment, but I'm not sure about Liz.
But going back to what I said earlier, that I have worked my way up from a pit boy, right through. And let's be fair, I have stood in 125 international matches. And I've umpired 4 World Cups and 3 World Cup finals. And I've been umpiring now for 22 years. And cricket's been my life, because I play county cricket with the
Who do you think in cricket, Dickie, has not got an award who should?
Well, it's difficult to say, and it wouldn't be fair on me to say that.
Yeah.
I think that But I think that people who have got awards through, I'm sorry, I think that everyone who gets awards deserve them. They deserve them.
I agree with you.
But what about all those
they deserve them.
time servers and place people in the Thatcher years who, because they were political advisors or friends or, you know, time servers with the government or donators to the Tory party,
or to any other political party,
got these knighthoods.
You know, but people who work in the civil service, whether it's a Labour government or any other sort of government, they tend to get knighthoods or they tend to get awards when they leave. Do you think that's right?
I think they sometimes
Harold
do.
Wilson.
But are you saying, you said earlier, Peter, that people who get awards are either people that are for the establishment or suck up to the establishment?
Most, not all.
Are you saying that is, were you referring in government terms or were you referring in general terms, i.e. in nursing terms or in sporting terms? What were you referring to?
If you look at the last honours list, the New Year's honours list, the armed forces, the civil service, the diplomatic corps take up a huge amount of that. And it's not people who've done necessarily things of any note. They've just been in these positions for years and years and years. And, you know, lots of people do jobs for years and years and years. They don't get awards. Why should these people?
OK, let me take a call. We've got Joey on the line. Hello, Joey. Hello. Joey.
Yeah.
Yes, Joey.
How you doing?
I'm all right, Joey. What can I do for you?
Yeah, you're talking about medals and that, and what people deserve, yeah?
We're talking about what?
Medals.
And that. Yeah, oh, yeah, yes, we're talking about that. Yeah.
I know this vicar. He's been really good to me in the last...
You know...
I know a vicar.
Do I want to know about this?
No, I know about a vicar.
You know about a vicar?
Yeah, he's really all right.
Yeah, good.
In the last 12 years I've known him, like, he's done a lot for charity.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, his name's Mick the Vic.
Mick the Vic?
Yeah, that's his nickname.
You'd like to put him forward for an award?
Yeah, I would.
Good, we'll put him forward. I'll have a word with Liz, who can have a word with her dad, who can see whether who can see whether or not we can.
I think it is a tremendous thing. It's wonderful, and people, I think that the honours list is tremendous and it's marvellous. I think that, and I've said earlier, the people who have got them deserve them.
You can't always say that, can you, Dickie? Because, I mean, history shows that certain people who received honours were actually had the honours taken away from them for various things in later life. I'm thinking of The Spy and Lester Piggott. Did she take it off him? Michael. And he no. Did she?
Yeah.
Did she?
Think so. Didn't she? Had his award taken back.
And what about all the people who don't get the honours for doing things which don't get recognition? I mean, like, on my estate, where I live in South East London, there's this woman who, for like 30 years, did this completely unrecognised work for pensioners, for young kids, for homeless people and so on.
Yeah. Right, was that
she
for
never
an
got anything.
Was that for an organisation?
It was through church, the local tenants association,
right. So what
old age pensioners club. She got nothing.
She can't recommend herself, but any one of those associations
so Liz,
that she was working for could recommend her.
Can anybody watching tonight suggest anybody? If they want to write to the Palace and suggest anybody?
They can write through, and the official organisation has to recommend. You cannot do it as an individual.
Yeah, in case anybody... Just a suggestion if they wanted to write in. That's all. Just a suggestion. Let's... because, you know, why not? Why not? Alison from Oxford.
Hello, James.
Yes, Alison. What do you think of the award system? Do you think it's a good thing or not?
Well, yeah, I think you ought to make a brilliant Lord of Crossroads, actually.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Yes, I think you're very right. Alison, what do you, I mean, if somebody offered you an MBE or an OBE or a dameship, I don't know whether they are ships, but I mean, you know, would you accept it?
I'd accept being your lady. Ha-ha.
Thank you, Alison. Sexist swine. Dave from Leicester. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Mr. Well. How are you?
I'm very well, Dave. Yes?
I want to approach a couple of the issues that you've got on this evening.
Go on.
I don't know about Lord or Sir Whale, but I think you should get an MBE for being a twat.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Well, if they hand them out for that, that's fine. I mean, I think that's great. Can you get... No, never mind. Right. Peter from Lancashire. Hello, Peter.
Hello there.
Yes, Peter.
Yeah, you're on about things like the OBE and things like that. Well, I've got one better than the OBE.
You have?
Yeah, and that's the TBE.
The TBE?
Yeah, that's 2 boiled eggs.
What I want to know from our next caller, Tom from Middlesex. Hello, Tom.
Hello, James.
Yes, Tom. Does it make any difference to you whether a person that you meet has a kind of award? Do you feel in some way different when you meet them, or not?
In a way, but I feel that Gazza should get an award on 2 counts.
No counts at all. Gazza should not get any awards. Do you think, Dickie? I mean, he's a little young to get an award, isn't he?
Yes, he's a little young at the moment, and as I say, but...
Do you think he would get one?
He's a tremendous footballer. He's probably one of the best players in the world, and if I were paying through the turnstiles to watch a footballer, I'd go to watch Gascoigne.
You would?
Yes.
I mean,
But regarding rewards, he's still he's still a long way to go, yet he's still a young man.
I mean, Liz is quite young, really, comparatively.
So what you're
saying
saying
she was a bit young
it's not about achievement, it's about time.
Well,
So
no, we just said it. I don't think they'll give him an award
like
at this.
Dickie's had his award, and he's been very, very long and very established in the sport.
Yeah.
I got mine, and I'd been champion since I was 16, and I got it when I was 26. So it's 10 years in the sport. It's service to a sport. Paul Gascoigne, all right, has given a lot of service to sport already.
It's whether or not he can keep it up for a bit longer, isn't it?
Absolutely. Can he sustain it?
Watch me. OK, Mick, we'll take a break. Right. Do you want to play? It's the only place to get a bit of peace and quiet around here. What do you want?
Do you always talk to your Willie, James?
Yeah. I want to do. Do you want me to show part of your new movie? Yeah. I see. Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, you. Excuse me, just one moment. Well, would you like to see part of his new? Part of his.
What am I? I've got an MBE. I shouldn't be in here. I'm going. Bye.
Roll the movie. Oh, God, what have you got me to...
Since the dawn of time, the snake has been cast in the role of the bad guy, a general mischief maker. But does the poor snake really deserve this reputation? Is there not perhaps a different kind of snake who is the root cause of all the trouble? The trouser snake, often seen as man's most treasured possession, and sometimes even as his best friend.
I'm bored with this.
Yeah, me too.
Why don't we talk to the man?
Yeah, okay. Hey, God, it's Adam here. Got anything for us to play with?
Sure, I got something truly wonderful. You'll love it. Cost you an arm and a leg, though.
Oh, well, at that price, forget it.
Well, okay. I got something nearly as good, except a little troublesome. But it will only set you back over it.
Oh, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I notice you're very free with my ribs.
Hi, boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but just imagine what we could have had for an arm and a leg.
Yes, well, Gray Jolliffe, of course, the man who created Little Willie, has now got the release of the Little Willie movie, or Wicked Willie, I always call it Little Willie.
The video.
Must be a Freudian
Hello,
slip.
Willie.
Wicked Willie, the movie, yes, and we've got 3 copies of the movie. You can rent it to your friends, actually, and 3 of these, which are Wicked Willie thingies.
Squash-ups.
Yeah, squash-ups, which Liz actually might take one home because she hasn't stopped playing with it since she got here. All you have to do is write into this address coming up on the screen for you, Wales Mail, and suggest the sort of honour that you think Wicked Willie should receive. Probably Liz's MBE, because after that last little bit, she'll probably be asked to send it back, really, when I think about it.
Doesn't mean MBEs can't have a sense of humour, Mr. Whale.
No, you're quite right.
Or
you're
Lords.
Quite right. And Lords. In fact, I mean, an open invitation to Prince Charles to appear on the show anytime. I quite like to. Would you like, I mean, are you against royalty or not, Peter? You're not?
I think the monarchy is really an outdated institution.
You do?
I mean, you know, we're almost in the 21st century, you know. This is an institution which has outlived its usefulness.
As is Parliament.
No, Parliament is the democratic expression of the people.
I hadn't asked the question
The monarchy is something which dates from feudal times. It predates democracy, and why it should continue to exist is really beyond me.
I think, if I may say this, I think royalty, they're wonderful. I think all the royal family, and I think they do a tremendous job.
A tremendous job. All of them, I would have expected you to say that.
Well, I will. I'm sorry, sir, yes.
Yes, Dickie, as you say, your award means more to you than your life.
It does.
Yes.
My award does mean more to me than my life, I'm sorry.
Let me just go through some of the letters, because we come into the end part of the programme. Thank you very much indeed for the mail. You may remember Matthew Paris was one of our guests on the programme last week. Thank you very much indeed, Matthew, and thank you for that charming piece that you wrote in the Times. I didn't quite understand it, but it was very nice. Thank you very much indeed. And we've had a letter about you, Matthew. It says, Matthew Paris suggested that single people should receive wedding gifts in lieu of said ceremony. You might be interested in this, Liz. You said that we, the viewers, should send in prezzies for Matthew as he felt a little out of it, because he said he was gay, obviously, he wasn't going to get married, and he thought it was a bit unfair. Well, here's my phone number. Anytime Matthew wants to give me a call, he's entirely welcome, because I think he's one of the sexiest men I've ever seen on TV. Yours, Robert. So we'll pass that on to you, Matthew. Paul Taylor of Leeds says, I'm writing to say how appalled I was about the way you contemptuously slagged off computer dating on last week's show. I myself have been going out with a gorgeous little BBC micro for some time now. Anyway, it goes on like that.
Perhaps we'll send him one of these days.
We might. Aaron Copeland, I don't think it can be the Aaron Copeland, of Edinburgh says, you can't leave that alone, can you? You basically, it won't put me off, but you cannot, look, it's yours.
I've never
Take it
seen
away.
one of these things before. They're amazing.
No, you probably haven't. Don't do that with it there. You've never heard of Survivors? May one ask why not? Survivors was a really watchable post-Holocaust series about 8 years ago between the New Avengers and that awful Sapphire and Steel. P.S. That Spanish bit in the red dress is as fast as a flyover. Really? You're not getting her address either. Paul Goodall from Mitcham says, I don't know if you realise, but your guest Claire Rockus last week picked her nose and wiped it on the arm of your chair whilst you were reading out the letters. I don't think... No, that's
not
unfair.
this chair, is it? Oh.
That's unfair, because I watched the show back and she didn't do that at all. And Robin Rogers of Hereford says, sex and drugs and rock and roll, they just fill a tiny hole. Yet for my... what's that word there?
Voracious
appetite. I watched James Whale on a Friday night. It's topical and fun, a real mixed bag, though not as good as a good hard. Thank you very much indeed for those letters. I beg your pardon, Fellini?
Didn't hear a word of that.
Oh, right, OK. We were going to go and show you some of the coming attractions over the next couple of weeks. I did do the competition. Didn't I do the competition?
Yes, you did.
I did. I said, write in and tell us... yeah.
What award Wicked Willie
What
should have.
award Wicked Willie should have. Yes, that's right. I'm going to take a couple of calls, I think, here. Tom from Suffolk. Hello, Tom.
You all right, James?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, fuck you, boarding.
Tom, that's not very nice, Tom. I mean, if you have a problem like that, we have a series of psychiatrists that can help you, and we will give you the number after the programme. Get something done about it. You need help. Brian from Sheffield. Hello.
Hello, James.
Yes, Brian.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Going back to one of your issues with Peter about homosexuality, don't you think it's rather demeaning to any other normal-blooded male?
No, thanks very much indeed, Brian. I don't really think you know what you're talking about. I'm sorry if we haven't bothered with him. Next week, we're talking about prostitution, and it'll be a programme that I think you'll find interesting, slightly more serious programme. Thank you very much indeed to my guests tonight. It's gone quickly, that, hasn't it?
It does gone quickly,
Okay,
doesn't it?
right, the River City people, this is Huskinson Street, and this is a piece all about the red light district of Liverpool. Have a nice weekend from all of us. Goodbye.
See that girl, she stands alone, waits on the corner in the rain and the cold, knows everything she needs to know, but she's too young to look so old. All the things that she could have done, when she needed help, she found no one. Just a man so alone, and he looked at her for what he should have found at home. In this town of broken dreams, hope must never concede. Through the pain we often find gems that the future may hide. Oh. See that girl, does she make you cry? You've heard a story repeated 1,000,000 times. What does it take to make you see? She says her future's not what it used to be. And all the things that she could have done, and when she needed help, she found no one. Just a man so alone, and he looked at her for what he should have found at home. In this town of broken dreams, hope must never concede. Through the pain we often find gems to me high in this town, broken dream. Hope must never concede to the past.